Hello, Stitchy friends. My name is Kara, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. And this is my channel mainly about cross stitching, but I do throw in some other crafty endeavors like knitting or crocheting, sometimes quilting from time to time. So thank you for choosing to spend some time with me today. If you are new, welcome, and I'm so happy that you stopped by to visit my channel, and I hope you will consider liking and subscribing. And if you are returning, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for visiting with me again. So, we have a lot to cover today. First, I just want to tell you about my day yesterday. I had such a great day. I was on Facebook and I saw a group called Maine Vacation Land Stitchers. And for those of you who don't know, I do live in New Hampshire, but I live right on the coast. I am within 10 minutes of the Maine border, and I'm from Maine originally, and I still have relatives up there, and I am always up in Maine. I'm a Mainer at heart. So on their Facebook group, they were talking about different locations that they have stitching meetups. And one of them is in Biddeford, Maine, on the fourth Saturday of the month. And Biddeford is probably maybe 40 minutes from me. So I asked to join the group and I asked if it would be okay if I came to Stitching Day. And I went yesterday and had such a lovely time. I was able to sit, I met four amazing women, and we met at the Paneras in Bedford. The manager of Paneras was so gracious. I mean, very, very accommodating. I can tell why people choose to have their stitchy meetups at Paneras. And we just sat and stitched and chatted and got to know each other. And it was just such a fun time for me. I really, really enjoyed it. Um, and, you know, when you're with other people who are stitching, like we all learned something. We all had something to share to the group. Like one person was sitting there stitching in hand and she was talking about how she stitched. And then another person was talking about something that they had discovered. They'd been stitching for 40 years and how they did something. And another person introduced something, a new technique that I didn't know about. Um, the woman sitting next to me loved my project bag, and we found each other on Facebook last night and became friends. And then she sent me a message saying, I found that project bag on Etsy and I ordered it. It's so great. So thank you so much to Kelly, Tammy, Valerie, and Leslie. Thank you for welcoming me and letting me become part of your group. And I look forward to next Saturday when we can all get together again. Really, really fun time. So I thoroughly enjoy that. And so I did join another group on Facebook. I joined B&E Stitchery and Friends. Now, B&E, they have a floss tube. It's Brandy and Emma, and they're from Maine, and they're way up, like next to Rangeley. So I'm hoping that the next time I go to Rangeley, I can hook up with them and have a stitchy day with them. But they are also on the committee of the retreat for the Library Stitches retreat coming up in April. And they have a Facebook group which I joined, and they do a Zoom stitch along on random Sundays. Like they call it Sunday brunch stitching. And I thought that was so nice. And they do it from 10 to 12. And I think they do it either one or two Sundays a month. So the next one that they're doing is Sunday, February 11th. And I'm looking forward to that, where I can just sit here and go on Zoom and just be able to mingle with everybody else who's sitting around their tables stitching too. So that'll be fun. I also wanted to, okay, so I have been writing a lot in my Stitchy book. Now I have two books that I use. One is the Cross Stitch Journal, but from It's So Emma. You can get it from Backwater Shop, and I think you can get it on Amazon too. So I use this book because I like the layout of it. Like you can just basically lay out your whole project, the name, who it's from, stitch count, when you started it. You know, I always put the label from the fabric I'm using, you know, what kind of floss. And this just helps to keep me organized with, because you can put 50 in here. Um, so this is how I keep track of my individual patterns that I'm working on. And then I use this book, which is very much like the Book of Days, which a lot of people use. And I did use the Book of Days last year, but when I saw this, I don't know, I think you can get it in a number of cross stitch shops, but I don't remember which Flosstuber's channel I saw it on first. But this one, now it has the monthly layout pages, you know, just like Book of Days, and I'll go in and chart, you know, which one I was working on and, you know, how long, how many hours I spent. But what I also like about this is, okay, every month comes with its own little pattern, real quick. And February, I love the one for February, and I'm definitely going to stitch this. Let me cover up the pattern here. But this is the pattern for February. Isn't that cute? Little house with a red bird. So I'll definitely, you know, and it'd be cute to stitch these for every month. And they're small, they're tiny. So I like that. And so in this book, on the back of the actual calendar page, it has these other pages. So SALS, challenges, finishes, and I write down everything that I'm working on here because for me, and it's an organizational thing, I like to have a pattern assigned to each day because I'm trying to get 24 whips done this year. That's my goal. I probably won't reach it, but even if I only get 12 done, that'll be good. So if I open this up and look at this and say, okay, on this day, I'm going to work on Country Sampler. I know that I have to pull out Country Sampler and at least work on it for a little while. Otherwise, I'm the type of person that'll be like, I don't feel like working on that today. I'll do it tomorrow. And then it doesn't get done the next day. So I am the type of person, I just like having lists. Even for my job, before I go to bed at nighttime, I'm an accountant and tax season officially starts tomorrow when the IRS portal opens. And I will, before I shut my computer off at night, I will make a list. Okay, these are the tax returns I'm going to work on tomorrow. I do it for stuff that I want to get done around the house. You know, tomorrow I just really need to clean the refrigerator, or I need to go downstairs and spend 20 minutes in the basement, you know, boxing things up or whatever. Now, just because I say I'm going to clean the refrigerator, I mean, I don't have to spend an hour doing it. I can just like go through it, okay, throw out anything that's old and be done with it in 15 minutes. Or I can choose to take everything out, wash down every shelf, rearrange everything, put everything back, and take an hour. That's where I have that flexibility. But I do know on that day I need to get the refrigerator cleaned out. So, and I don't say that I'm going to stick 100% to this. You know, if I don't feel like working on something, obviously I won't. But this just gives me a guideline to help keep me on track, to make sure that I am putting effort and time into all my whips that I want to be working on. So that's just something useful for me. And I know that a lot of people don't like to have to be confined or have to be told which ones, you know, to work on. But again, I just make it, you know, work out however the best way it is for me. So anyway, um, so that's my Stitchy book. So for new starts, we did have a couple of new starts, and they were starts that were, well, one of them. One of them was a start that was on my list of starts. It's part of my rotation. It's my monochromatic start because when I had gone through my January my January plans, I had said that these are the type of patterns that I always want to be stitching on and have in my start. So this is my monochromatic, and it's called United We Stand. And it's so, every time I grab this project bag, it's like, what is that big thing in there? It's all black and white. So I did order a DMC cone, and I've never ordered one of these before. And that is a lot of floss. If I don't use it all on this, I probably will never have to order 310 again. Or it'll be a long time that I need to order it. So this is the pattern, United We Stand, from Stitching Jules Design. This was a download off Etsy. And I am stitching this on, whoops, I didn't even open up my book to have it ready for you. Sorry about that. I'm stitching this on 25 count white Lugana with DMC 310. And here is my start on this. Sorry, I should have had this all pulled out and ready. Okay, so this is the top left, and it is right here. Here's the top. It's basically the spear I started on. And I started this 1/2. Oh my gosh, that looks horrible because that's the back. I'm looking at it going, that looks pretty bad. Sorry, guys. And I have had my coffee today. All right, there we go. And I was doing this 1/2, and I didn't like the look of the coverage. So now I am doing it 2/2. And the stitches are a little tight. And we'll see. We'll see how it looks as I go along. But that's what I did switch to. And I don't know, I guess I just wanted it to be more dramatic, more filled in and not prim looking. So anyway, we'll see how that turns out. And then, oops, the next new start I had was not a planned new start. Oh, I was watching Sunshine State Stitchers and, catching up. And I knew that they had started that 1 dozen Quaker SAL. And it was so funny because when I was on Facebook last night, that's what popped up. I had that window pop up and it said, come join us, post your progress, all that good stuff. And I'm thinking, sure, why not? Why not? I love Quakers. And I had the pattern because I had ordered the pattern. And I went and rummaged through my fabric, came up with a nice fabric to stitch on. And here's the pattern, 1 dozen Quakers by Rosewood Manor. And I love Rosewood Manor. So I chose a 28 count mushroom Lugana. Now, this pattern is, the called for colors are weak Styleworks, and they're all different variations of purples, like grape ice and boysenberry and Bethlehem, mulberry, Bordeaux. And I'm thinking, I don't think I want to do that all in purple. I would like to have mine be colorful. So the first motif, let me pull the pattern out again so that you can see what I'm talking about. The first motif right up here in the corner, number 1. Now that to me looks like there's a sun right in the middle of that. So I thought, you know something? I'm going to stitch this one in yellow because it will remind me of the Sunshine Stitchers. And then I think I'm just going to stitch the other ones in whatever colors, appeal to me. So that way it's not all in purples. So anyway, I pulled this out last night and I sat here and stitched away, and this is, ooh, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Okay, there we go. This is the start I got. So I just got the outline done. And this one, this side over here, I had screwed up something on one of these rows down here at the bottom, and I could tell by looking at this side that it wasn't going to line up. So I came down here, stitched this, came up from the bottom, and I had to tear this out and restitch it, and then thankfully it lined up. So crisis avoided. So that was fun. And I'll stitch the rest of the inside of that in that yellow color, and it will always remind me of them when I look at it. So that was my other new start. Then I just worked on whips. So let's see. Okay, first up, we have my temperature chart. Let me find that. And this was a cottage temperature chart that I got from Fat Quarter Shop. They had both cross stitching and a quilting temperature chart that you could do this in quilt squares. So here's the pattern. And January, I'm doing the high temperatures. So that is this one, is January right here. So I actually got that. That's what I worked on yesterday when I was at the little Stitchy meetup. And come on, get in there. And this was the bag that everybody loved. And they wanted to know who made it. And I got this off Etsy, and the name of the shop is PT Bags. So Valerie was able to find them on Etsy last night, and they had more of these bags available, and she ordered one, and she was so excited to do that. So here is my temperature Quaker with January almost all filled in, and I left these threads hanging because there's been a lot of the same color, and it just doesn't make sense to end them. So here we go. Almost done. You can see that we've had a real cold spell, and then this was the other day, it was up in the 40s. This day right here was up in the 50s. So we've had some crazy weather during January of this year. Today it's rainy and it just started snowing. We are supposed to get 3 to 6 inches of snow tonight, but they said that for the coast it wouldn't start probably until maybe around 7 o'clock, but it's 4 o'clock now and it has started. So yay. So that's my temperature chart. And next is, let's see, oh, my United in Love. Wah wah. This is really sad, guys. So sad. This is the one that is supposed to be my 37. Working on this for 30 minutes every day of the week. And I don't know what it is. I just haven't had the urge to pull it out and work on it. I think I've only worked on it one day since my last video. And this is the one that, out of all my whips, this is the one that I need to get done. So I'm definitely going to have to make a concerted effort to pull this out and work on it. Just get it done. So again, this is my United in Love Leisure Arts pattern. This one right here, with a lot of changes being made to it, because this pattern is from the 80s or early 90s, and trying to get rid of that 80s and 90s look. So on this one, and you can't see it, I don't even know why I'm bothering to show you. I work some more on the doves coming, yeah, you can't see that, coming down. Oh, sorry guys, so sorry. Anyway, there is white there. Once I finish that dove, I'll just do all the back stitching before I show this to you again. But anyway, that was the piddly amount I worked on this in the past 2 weeks. And I really, really need to get committed and get this finished up. My bad. And then next we have the Last Supper. And this is another Leisure Arts. And this I'm doing on 18 count Ada Milk and Honey. I don't know what the fabric is on United in Love. It's so old, but it is an Ada and it's very soft. So here is The Last Supper by Leisure Arts. You've probably seen this in the past as people have stitched it. And this is my Sunday stitch. When I get home from church, I sit down and I stitch on this. And I got quite a bit done last Sunday because I wanted to finish up this brown. So the last time I had shown this to you, and I need to start taking before and then current pictures, because I've seen other floss tubers start to do that, and it helps you to see the progress, I think. So anyway, I had this started and maybe like one row down the side. So I got the brown over here, and then going down, this I believe is where Jesus's shoulder starts. But I got all the brown, this color finished on the pattern. So, and again, this is right here, the first page, edge of the doorway. Right, is it that side? No, so yes, it is. So this is all done. So now I will probably start, I don't even know if Jesus is in the first page. Let's see. Yes, he is. But I'll probably start on the sky here in the window and come down and then start on Jesus. So that will probably come out this afternoon since it's Sunday, and this is my Sunday whip project. And then we have Honey Fair. I actually got some good stitching in this. And Honey Fair is by October House. Oops, sorry guys, there you go. And this is being stitched on, I think it's parchment. Yep, 30 count parchment. by Weeks Dye Works. And so the last time I had shown this to you, I only had this green square done up here. So I got all the yellow done. So I'm all the way over to, this is the width of the pillow. So yeah, I was happy to get all that done. And this is an easy stitch too, if anybody's considering doing it. And then the next one that I worked on is my snow day project. So I guess this will be coming out this afternoon too. And this is called Button Up. And how many days did I work on this last week? Let's see. Since the last time I filmed, it has snowed twice. So this got 2 days of stitching in the past 2 weeks. And this is Button Up by the Prairie Schooler. And I just actually got more done on the border. So I finished off these blocks, this line going down the middle, coming down. You can see this is I made a little marker where the next block is going to start. So maybe, depending on how much time I put in on this today, maybe all the blocks will get done. These patterns are going to be so tiny. I mean, these blocks are not big. So each one of these blocks should go quickly once the stitching starts on them. So that'll be fun to finally get to put something in the blocks. And there we go. All right. So that's it for whips. Let's see. All right. Plans for February. Oh, guys, I don't know why I do this to myself. I really don't. All right, so we have a couple of new SALs coming up for February. One of them is a dragon SAL. This is being sponsored by Samantha, the Yugo Stitcher, and Erica from Floss and Fibers Canada, Fibers and Floss Canada. And it is representative of the Chinese New Year. This year is Year of the Dragon, and this SAL is going to start on February 10th, and it's stitching a dragon, and it can be any dragon that you want. Samantha is doing a Teresa Wensler dragon, which I think is called the Storyteller, and it is beautiful, but it's Teresa Wensler. And I don't know if Erica decided to do the same one because she's currently working on a Teresa Wensler, the one that we're doing, the peacock tapestry. So I'll have to see what she decides to do, what she pulls out of her bag on February 10th. But I decided, since it's a dragon, I decided to let my daughter and granddaughter choose what they wanted me to stitch. My daughter used to be into dragons when she was in high school, and she had it was a series. I think the name of the dragon was Aragon, and there were 3 or 4 books, and they were thick hardcover books. And she read them all, and it was about this dragon. And now my granddaughter is starting to read the books. They're a little bit above her level. So my daughter, sits and reads with her at nighttime before she goes to bed. So I found a couple of dragon patterns on Etsy, And, I sent her pictures, and I must have sent her pictures of 20 different dragons. And I'm like, you guys choose. And there was a blue on it, and it looked like the dragon that was on the cover of one of the books. So they came back. She actually let Allie choose which the dragon that she wanted me to stitch. And so this is the dragon I'm going to be stitching. And it's baby dragon. Isn't that cute? Typical of a 9-year-old to choose that, right? So this is what I'm going to be stitching on starting February 10th. And I have not pulled the fabric for this. I think I'm just going to do it on an 18 count Aida. Let me see what it calls for. Yeah, either a 14, 16, or 18 count. So I'll probably do it on an 18 count Aida, or maybe maybe a 25 count Lugana. We'll see. I do have all the floss, and for such a little dragon, it has a lot of floss. So I'll just get the fabric pulled for that, and that will be started on February 10th. Then I have, okay, then we have another SAL starting up. Well, actually, we have Winter Boot Camp starting up on February 1st, and Winter Boot Camp is sponsored by Sherry, the Colorado Cross Stitcher, and basically it's just to keep people stitching and give them something to do during the month of February. I believe the first year she did it, she actually did January, February, March, but she's tapered it back to just February. And she puts it out there, and it's totally elective. And the theme for this boot camp is stitch something with an animal in it. So, she makes them relatively easy to make that, to choose from when you have to choose your patterns. So I decided to do, and I always choose I never choose anything small that I'm going to be able to complete in a month. It's like, nope, I like this one, so I'm going to do this one. So I chose the blue flower because I love the blue flower, Happy Campers. Now that has plenty of animals in it. You got the porcupine and the beaver up at the top roasting their marshmallows. You have a squirrel, two squirrels here having a picnic. I don't even know what's in the boat. Looks like a duck, two foxes maybe in the boat. Thought there was a deer on here somewhere. Oh yeah, here's the deer over here. So this is what I am going to do for my February boot camp. And I need to get the fabric and floss pulled for this one. But that'll be fun. And I know that I'm just going to get a start on it, and it won't be finished. But that's okay because I'll have it started and it'll be in my whip. Now, I have been seeing other floss tubers talking about starting a fancy lady for February. I guess they call it fanciful February or fancy lady February. So again, because I want to stitch all things, I'm like, sure, let's do it. And I have some fancy ladies in my stash, but I can't decide which one I want to stitch. So I am putting it out there to you guys. You tell me down in the comments which one you think I should stitch because it doesn't matter to me. I think they're both beautiful. I think I will want to stitch both of them anyway in my lifetime at some point, but you can tell me which one you think I should start for February. So the first one is the Stargazer, and these are both Mirabilia. Samantha, the Yuga Stitcher, has just finished this. I think she's at the point where she's putting the beads on. Now, if I do this, or when I do this, I'm not going to use this chocolate fabric. I know that Nora Corbett, um, this is the called for fabric on a lot of her patterns for, her queens and her pixies. Well, not the pixies, but her fanciful ladies. And, it just doesn't look right to me. When you think about it, she's a stargazer, so you imagine her, or I do, I imagine her being outside looking up at the stars. And this brown fabric does not epitomize that for me. So I'm thinking that if I do this, I'm going to do it like on Nocturne or Stormy Night, or some type of gray or a deep gray, or maybe even a deep blue. If I could find maybe like a twilight blue opalescent that had like the sparkles in it that would represent the stars, that would look cool. So I don't know, but it's definitely not going to be chocolate. And then the other choice is Queen of Peace. She's beautiful. A little closer. And I think I would stitch her on, the color that she's on is pretty neutral, but I think that her face and her skin kind of blend in with that. I think maybe like an ice blue type color. I don't know. Let's see. So you guys let me know which one, the Stargazer or Queen of Peace. Put your comments down below. I can't wait to see what you guys choose. All right. Then the last SAL for February that I'm going to participate in, because I am a glutton for punishment, that's for sure, is the leap year SAL. Now, in 2020, I saw a lot of people either choosing a long dog sampler to do, or even a modern folk embroidery sampler to do. It's something that you're going to pull out on the 29th of every month and stitch on it, and you know that it's going to take you a long time. You have 4 years to finish it, and the goal is to finish it, to start it at this leap year and finish it before the next leap year, which I think is pretty cool. I actually saw somebody doing And a Forest Grew. They chose to do that as their leap year start one year in 2020. So I was planning to do a long dog, and I had chosen this one. It's called Home is Where Your Story Begins. And that is a lot of border stitching. But I like this pattern. Always have, and I think it would be really gorgeous once it's finished. And is this stitched on DMC? You can stitch it either on DMC or Gentle Arts. But I bet this would look beautiful stitched up in silks. Don't you think? I think that would look gorgeous in silks. So I got to get this kitted up. But then I was thinking, well, I don't necessarily have to do just one leap year start. So the other one that I want to do, and I'm going to do two. The other one I'm going to do is Dutch Beauty. Like I said, I am a glutton for punishment. And I'm sorry, I know I have the pattern somewhere and I couldn't find it to bring out for this video to show you, but I will have to locate it. And what day of the week is the 29th on? Let's see. It's on a Thursday. So that'll be a work day. So I might have to start these like on the 25th or the 26th on the weekend. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do both. Like I said, glutton for punishment. But it's good. It's good. It'll be good. All right. So that's it for my whips. That's it for my plans for February. And the only other thing I have left to show you is my knitting whip. And if you're only here for the cross stitch, thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you enjoyed the content and liked what you saw. And if you're new, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. And here is my knitting project. And normally I've been pulling this out at nighttime and just putting in a few rows. And this week, for some reason, I haven't been doing that. Um, I'll tell you something. I got some bad news on Friday night when I was driving home. And, you can't shut your brain off when you go to bed. And I just couldn't fall asleep Friday night because that's all I was thinking about. So yesterday, when I was able to get up and go to the little Stitchy meetup, that was so nice. It took my mind off it. But then of course you're busy during the day and you're doing all this stuff, so you don't think about it. And then last night again, when I went to bed, I hadn't thought about it really all day, and I went to bed and again couldn't shut the brain down because that's all I was thinking about. So anyway, um, I'm hoping that if I start stitching on this again at nighttime before I go to bed, that it will tire my eyes out and make me tired and I can fall asleep. But I'm sure that that's going to happen anyway with tax season starting tomorrow. But so anyway, here is where I am on Allie's sweater, and get up close there so you can see the little sparkles in there. I think the last time I showed you, I'd only I knew that I got the ribbing done, but I think maybe I was only up to here. So um, I believe I'm almost up to where the inseam of her underarm will go. So yeah, I'll have to work on this definitely at nighttime. And knitting is my comfort during tax season anyway. Like if I'm working on a big business tax return or a tax return that requires a lot of thinking, um, I keep this right next to my desk. And I will, if I'm stuck on something or I need to think about something more before I proceed, I will actually pull this up and just sit at my desk and knit for a half hour or whatever. Just kind of like letting my mind relax and um, thinking things through, before I proceed with that tax return. So I'll be working on this anyway during tax season. So that's it, I believe. Um, so thank you for joining me. And I don't know what my filming schedule will be for February. I guess it all depends on how tax season goes. Oh, wait a minute. I'm so stupid. I forgot haul. Duh. Sorry, folks. I'm so dumb sometimes. If I don't have it written down and it's not on a little sticky note in front of me, I will forget it. Oh my gosh, I would have kicked myself. Anyway, okay. So in my last video, I had talked about a retreat. It's an online retreat that I'm going to do in July, and I'm going to do it with Allie, and it's a Harry Potter retreat. And they've been doing this every year, and it's conducted by the Black Needle Society, and they'll send you a retreat in a box, which is like all the materials that you need for the retreat, and then you log on and you can go to certain rooms where they'll be doing classes, or you can just sit and stitch and meet other people in that room. And I think they, break you up into groups. My granddaughter's hoping to be in, what is it, Slithering? So anyway, looking forward to that. But so they were so nice, they actually sent me some of the stuff from the prior year retreats. So these are band samplers, I guess, that were part of the kits for the prior years. So this is year one, and it has the hat and the broom and the mirror and the dog, three-headed dog. So that's year one, and they're very simple. You know, it's like almost like who does the oh, I can't think who does the really big colored patterns inside. Ah, it'll come to me. Anyway, so here's year two. The big Slytherin snake at the bottom, the talking tree, the flying car, all that good stuff from book two. And here is year three. And then year four. And did you guys see that they're coming out with a new Harry Potter movie? My granddaughter's so excited. So you can either stitch them separately as individual band samplers, or I saw the last page of this, they actually stitched them all together, like on top of each other, which I think looks absolutely cool. So we'll see what Allie wants to do. Like I said, these charts are really, easy to follow along. And so I think I'll do these with her. Speaking of Allie, she got some money for Christmas, and I had sent her a couple of project bags for Christmas. So, of course, she was all excited to go to Michael's and get some patterns. Now, my daughter knows absolutely nothing about cross stitching, so she couldn't tell whether or not the patterns that Allie was getting were suited, to her where she is in her stitching experience. And I have no idea what the patterns are that Allie got. I guess she, my daughter, Allie knows how to read the back of the pattern. I don't know if they came up as they came with kits or if she had to get the floss and everything too. And she went home and was so excited to start it. So I asked my daughter, I'm like, oh, so how is Allie's cross stitch going? And she goes, oh, well, she got to a point where she was stuck and now it's just sitting in the project bag because she doesn't know how to proceed. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to help her when I go out the next time I go to visit. Okay, so another thing, and this I ordered, this I had to pay for, but I know that Allie will love it. And this is a wallet that I got for her. And it says Quidditch on it, World Cup, and it's on both sides. And it is just not that Allie, I mean, she's only 9. It's not like she has a pocketbook and a wallet or anything, but she'll find something to use this for. Maybe she'll put Floss in it. Who knows? It's her choice. But I thought that was so cute. Now, something else that I got, and this was recommended by Erica from Floss and Fiber Canada, Fibers and Floss Canada. I always get that backwards. Sorry, Erica. She did a whole video about Teresa Wensler and Teresa Wensler patterns and how it's recommended that they get kitted up because 99% of Teresa Wensler's patterns are blended. And so she had gotten these, and I didn't even know these existed. So again, how we learn from each other. These, and of course you can't see them. Let me put something dark behind it. Can you see that? See how there's 2 holes? I can stick 2 fingers through it. Anyway, there's 2 holes in the bottom of this floss ring because the flosses are supposed to be blended. So you can put one color in one side, one color on the other side, and then it has the tiny hole in the middle where you take your strands, one strand from this, one strand from this, and you blend it together to work on your pattern. And whoever invented these, genius, genius. I am always so surprised when I come across things that's like, wow, somebody actually thought of that. So anyway, Erica got all of her flosses separated, paired up according to how they're supposed to be blended on the pattern. And it took her 7 hours. And then she realized that she was missing some floss and had to order some more and estimated that that was probably going to take her another 2 hours to get those all flossinated on those floss rings. And I sent her a message and I'm like, I got my ring, my little floss drops in. I said, but I am not going to spend 7 to 9 hours separating all that floss, putting all those strands on. So I'm just going to go a page at a time. So I might do that tonight because I've got all the border done on the first page. And this is peacock tapestry that I'm talking about here. And I think that I will start combining all the blending for the flosses so that I can start working on the actual pattern. So I found, along with these floss drops, I also found on Etsy, there was a shop that was selling like the labels for the floss drops, and it doesn't matter which floss drops they are. And it comes with a whole little chart, DMC chart. And so that way, when I have them on these floss drops, I'll be able to label them as to what color they are too. So again, nice handy tools that people think of that help us stitchers out. So, haul that I was going to forget to show you because sometimes my brain is not all there. I put in, the first time I ordered from her, I put in a fabric order with Kitten Stitcher, Teresa Vanette. And I have heard other people talk about her fabric and also, I guess, her son's dye fabric, but I've never ordered from her. And I had a pattern that I could not find the fabric for, and she happened to have it on her website. So I started looking around and saw other fabric that I thought I would like. So I ordered it. So this is a 40 count Oaken. Oh, there you go. You can see the modeling in that. Gets washed out the farther I pull it away. So sorry about that. This is 36 count doubloon. Everybody knows what doubloon looks like. This is a 36 count murky. Oh my gosh. First time I've ever ordered murky. And I have a nice Halloween pattern that will go on that. This is 32 count title. And oh my gosh, guys, the modeling in this blue is gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. So I don't know what I'll put on that, but when the time comes, I'll have it. This is 36 count pewter. So everybody knows what pewter looks like, just a gray. 36 count sterling, again, a gray with some modeling in it, which is really pretty. That's a good side. Really pretty. And this is 36 count bramble, which is more of a neutral. with modeling. Oh, that's nice on the back. It's almost like a brown with gray tones of modeling. That's really nice right there. And then a 40 count bramble, the same thing, and a 40 count heartland. This is the one that I really needed to order, and I couldn't find it any place else. And it's basically just a nice neutral with light modeling in there. So, and it actually came, she had a note on her page that said that her mother had had surgery and that it could take a while to get it because she was going to go, stay with her mother for a while to help her out. And this actually came rather quickly. So I don't know if she has her boys, running her shop or checking her mail for her while she's taking care of her mom. So then I got some patterns. So I got Seeds of Freedom by Silver Creek Samplers. Complete with the thread, Weeks Dye Works. And this says, it was 1861. I can't even read to the glare. Sorry, guys. The Civil War had just begun, 1863. Lincoln declared all slaves free, 1865. Few good men were left alive. I'll pay my respects to magnifying glass. I'll pay respects to all I owe, be left their seeds of freedom grow. So I wanted to get this as part of my plans for Mania. Yes, I'll be planning that. Then I got this one, Prairie Schooler, A Prairie Year, because I didn't have this. And this is one of the original cardstock. Then I saw Missy on Two Needles Pulling Thread. She had talked about Pine Mountain designs, and she had made, I think, a little pillow that she had gotten from them, a little pillow kit. And I Googled them and I went on and looked at them. And they had some cute things. And yeah, they do have pillow kits that you can make. And this is just going to stick. But I saw this chart and ordered this because it's woodsy. I can make that and put that in my cabin up in Maine. And then this was the pattern that I had ordered that I needed that heritage fabric for, that I got from Shakespeare's Little Kitten Stitcher, or Shakespeare's Peddler. And this is the berry bowl. And I am going to stitch it using the two different colors of fabric. So one color is Wren and one color is Heritage. And I wanted to do it like that, so that's why I was tracking down that Heritage fabric. Okay, now the next ones. I have been drawn in, guys. I've been drawn into the Nora Corbett world. I got this dragonfly pattern. And this is the silver dragonfly. And I understand that the emerald dragonfly is out of print and impossible to find. I did search for it online and I could not find it because, again, these would be beautiful to stitch up and put in the cabin. So if anyone knows how I can get my hands on the emerald dragonfly, let me know. And then I got Leo, again by Nora Corbett, because I'm a Leo, and I thought that was really pretty. And I'll stitch that and put it in my bedroom. And I'll find the January pattern and get that for Allie and do that for her. So that was that. Then I got in, oops, hold on, let me finish the, so then I got in another Mirabilia, complete with the fabric and the beads. And this is the August Peridot Fairy. And see what I mean about the chocolate linen? She likes that chocolate fabric. So this is August. That's my birth month. And I have all the floss, the beads, the fabric, all kitted up for when I want to get a start on that. And then I also got the January's Garnet Fairy. Now look at how pretty that is. So this is Allie's birthday month, January. And guys, this whole section of her dress, this red, is all beads. Yikes, all beads. It must look like she's wearing a very shimmery sequined dress. But, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. That's all beads. Oh, yeah. Who knows when I'll start that one, but at least I have everything kitted. I've been on other floss tubers that I watch that do the Mirabilia patterns. I guess it's getting harder, especially for some of the older patterns, and I don't think these are older patterns, but it's getting harder to find the beads to some of them. So I'm keeping that in mind as I order them so that I make sure to get the beads too, even if I don't start them or I'm not planning to start them right away. All right, so then I got this for Allie, and it's Harry Potter, and I got this off Etsy. And what this is a mat. It's a cross-stitch mat, and here's what it looks like when you open it up. All Harry Potter, and it comes with a little notions bag over here. So I'll hold it up, and you have a pocket over here. Here's your scissor. It comes with this little Harry Potter scissor fob and needle minder. So cute, so cute. So you got your pocket. Sorry for the crinkle. You got your pocket over here for your scissors. And again, your needles. Actually, you know what? I don't think that's a needles pouch. I think that's an ort. I think that's an ort catcher. Over here. You have another pocket. So, and it folds up. So I got that for Allie just because it's Harry Potter. And then I got two more things. I got a bag. Absolutely love this. This is another PT bag. From PT Bags on Etsy. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. And it's just white fabric inside. But again, that old pattern look, right? So cute. And then I saw this book, America's Cross Stitch, and I can remember when Better Homes and Garden used to come out with these type of books, and they would come out with quilting, America's embroidery or sewing, and there's just a lot of cute little cross stitch patterns in here and motifs and um, some Christmas ornaments, stockings, patterns for table runners. So it's just a cute little book. Kids' rooms, nautical. Oh, there's a bee. So hearts. It just made me think because back in the 80s and 90s, Better Homes and Garden used to put out all these books, and I have some of them. They have origami books and beading books, and it didn't matter. It was I have one on plumbing, one on electricity, one on bathroom installations. They came out with books on everything. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, I don't have that one. So it was just an impulse buy. So now I think that's it for this video. And again, I apologize for almost cutting you short there, but now we're over an hour. So anyway, like I was starting to say before I remembered that I hadn't done my haul, I don't know what tax season is going to bring about. I don't know. I really, even though I have my list, like I put in my calendar, um, realistically, I mean, I know that until the season really kicks in, I'll still have time to, stitch. But once the season really gets busy, we'll have to play it by ear. So I can't promise that I'll be back here in 2 weeks. I may be back at the end of the month. Um, so just be patient and know that I'm still here, even though I may not be filming. And that's that. So, anyway, I hope you enjoy your week coming up. Um, yep, time to pull out the snow day start whip, and have a very peaceful and enjoyable February. I can't believe that January is almost over, and happy stitching. Till the next time, bye.